Welcome to DJNTV and Tuesday Night with Ben Stowe. Now introducing the one and only Ben Stowe.
Yeah, baby! Yeah. Good evening and welcome to Tuesday Night! You know what happens on Tuesday? That's the night that Ben Stowe delivers tacos to each and every one of the good little boys and girls out there in the audience.
I made my list and I checked it twice.
And it's going to be awesome, man. Awesome. Because when tacos come from Bemidji, there's a special element in Bemidji called sub-zero weather that makes tacos last a long time, really.
These are cool tacos, man.
Very cool.
Putting the cool in Cool Ranch.
Oh, that is true. Very true. Thank you guys for joining us tonight. Tonight's show is sponsored by DJ Event Planner and a lot of other sponsors. Their links are down below. You can check those out in the comment or the description of the video. Tonight, we're going to deal with some of the more frequent questions that Ben received last week when he was in Las Vegas, which a lot of you got to see him there. You got to talk to him and such. But he had some questions, so we had him put down some of those. We're going to go through those tonight. And then as a little bonus, I went to one of these little chat AI things, you know, that artificial intelligence thing that's basically...
Oh, no. What'd you do?
And I said, give me a list of questions to ask Ben Stowe. And it kicked up 10 questions that we'll look at some of those questions tonight. It's going to be epic.
I just can't wait. The man versus the machine.
This will be fun because, you know, again,
twisted and evil, more machine than man now.
So for those of you who aren't familiar with, you know, you've heard, I'm sure, the AI stuff, but what this website is there's multiple out there now, and this is one of the newer ones that's being worked as a prototype out of a company in which I can't name, but I have access to some of their cool stuff. And so we entered it in. And this is basically computer learning of what it learns across the internet. So we're going to find out what it knows to ask Ben Stowe.
What could possibly go wrong?
Yeah, exactly. And I was surprised. We'll put it that way. And I kind of had an idea what might come through.
All right.
I was surprised.
Yeah. I think I got a cold in Vegas. I'm feeling it coming on. I don't know.
Oh, is that dinner, honey? I'm coming.
Yeah. Oh, that's right. Oh, I'm sorry.
Supper.
I gotta go. Bye.
So first off, Ben, before we get going, what is that on your shirt right there on the left side?
Oh, the badge?
Yeah.
So
Hockey Day.
Was Hockey Day, Minnesota. This was the year it was in Bemidji.
Yeah.
And it was negative 30 Fahrenheit, actual air temperature. The Zamboni actually froze driving from the arena to the outdoor rink. I mean, everything froze.
Yeah, I remember.
They had like blow torches on the hockey glass so that, you know, Fox Sports could shoot their camera shots through it. It was crazy. Anyway, all of we had, you know, video boards. We had speakers everywhere. We had, you know, all kinds of stuff, entertainment tent, blah, 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 blah. Everything went great. We said, my gosh, that's awesome. Let's never do that again. And those who follow me on Facebook know that we did. Just this year, we did Hockey Day Minnesota again in White Bear Lake. So this is the old shirt. I have a new shirt now to go with that. And of course, you know, being down in White Bear Lake, that's down in the Twin Cities metro area. It was much warmer. It only got to -10, so that was much better.
That's a beautiful area down there. There's a little
we had a lot of fun,
neighborhood. A little neighborhood restaurant that the kids have turned me on to down there that has some sesame chicken place. It's absolutely fabulous. Little husband, mom and pop type shop, you know. Yeah, it's like this big thing and she hands it to you, and now eat now, you go. It's like, oh,
that was not the catering we got backstage. I'll tell you that. Right? I need to go check that place out because it was definitely not the experience we had backstage.
Yeah, definitely, it's worth going to. So Ben, let's hit the first question tonight that came up in conversation in Vegas.
Okay, so these are not in order. I do have kind of a list that I put together of you know, sort of the more common things that I remembered being asked.
Yeah.
And so in no particular order, I guess the first one's a really easy one to answer because there's video you can go watch on it, but it is, how do you rotate the nearly 360-degree rotatable ends on the NLFX Sidewinder cables? Which actually reminds me of another question I'll just ask. I'll throw it in there. The answer is very easy. There's a little Allen set screw on there, and we send the Allen wrench with your order. You know, you just loosen that, and then you're able to rotate the cable and then tighten that back down. We did switch those from the toolless connector we originally started with because we found these were more robust. And as you know, John, and many viewers know, we guarantee our cables forever. And ultimately, we just felt the first connector wasn't going to hold up. So And if any of you have gotten any of the first connector and they do fail, we're just going to replace it with the new connector. Anyway, so there's a great video on the NLFX YouTube page, youtube.com/NLFXPro, where Lee from our technical services team walks you through it in about as exciting of a way as a technician can. And Lee is extraordinary, by the way. He's a wonderful human being, and he's an excellent technician. So we let him star in a video.
Nice.
One of the questions that is, I just remembered answering that one, is somebody said, with the legendary performance and reputation of your NLFX Platinum Series cables, why do you even bother selling this other brand? And I said, what other brand? They said, well, Sidewinder. I said, well, that's ours too. It's just a different cable. So they're both legendary. They're both made by NLFX. The Sidewinders are just a smaller, more compact, designed for very tight spaces, fly racks, behind controllers, things like that. So it's a thinner gauge cable and a very low profile connector, but yeah, they're both our cables. So that's
you got to bring those in next time, because I don't think we've ever featured those on a show.
We will have to do that, and unfortunately, we're still struggling to keep up with building them. But I think we're starting to catch up. So I'll have the guys make one I can bring down here. Right now, we're shipping everything we make, so we'll get one to bring on a future show.
Yeah, good. That'd be neat to be able to feature those.
Yeah, they're a cool cable. They, I think our best products came from just listening to our viewers, listening to our customers, and the vast majority of the NLFX products, our cables, those sorts of things are made in the United States. Very proud of that. Our gaff tape, which we have a question on that in a minute. We do have some things that are made in Asia, like the disposable mic covers and the cable tester, the Moat. And some other things. And actually today I was just going back and forth with a factory in China because they're not doing what I ask. And, they're like, well, what if we just did this? And I said, no, I'm not putting my name on that. This is, if you're going to build a product for us, you're going to build it to my specs. You're going to build it the way we want it built. I don't care what your reasons are. This is my product. If you want some other cheap, no name knockoff from China, go ahead. But anything that's got our name on it has got our engineering in it and our reputation behind it. So,
right.
Get a little fired up about that because I had to sort of set them straight. So,
well, when a person has to go and replace devices that have failed and your name's on it, you would get fired up about not having to.
Well, and that's not really the reason we make our cables in the United States. We have lots of reasons for making our cables in the United States, but it is really nice to be able to walk 30 feet from my office and go right to the bench where they're made and say, "This needs to be better." People are counting on us. People are counting on this cable. This needs to be better. So
30 feet, I think
well, approximately. You've been to our shop.
Yeah,
so
I was going to say it might be 35.
Yeah, I got to go around
exactly. There's some things there now, so
Yeah, my office is right off the showroom. I like to be right in the action, but I still have to go around like a couple of
displays there, and
things displays. That's what they're called. I'm like those things.
Those things that are out there that we have things that we sell are on them. And
yeah, exactly. It's funny. The showroom though is Kirk's domain. I really stay out of it. I mean, he our showroom manager, former guitar player, 20 years touring. I every time I walk out and I'm like, oh, that's new. I just I just let him do his thing. He just he does such a great job. I just stay out of his way. Kind of like Lee with our tech department. So but anyway. Another question. We were proud to be partnered with some industry-leading brands like Chevet Lighting and Electrovoice, and of course In Music, which is the parent company of Denon DJ and Rain, and others, Stanton, Newmark, so on and so forth. And we showed the new Denon SC Live 2 and SC Live 4.
Nice.
These are standalone players, have music and libraries and things built in, run on the Engine OS. But one of the other, and they have Wi-Fi and all kinds of cool things. One of the things people said is, why are there built-in speakers? And that's a really good question. They also have balanced outputs, so you can plug them into your rig, take them to a show. The best thing that I think is that, it's very convenient when you want to practice and you want to, improve your skills and or spills, whatever.
Yeah, there's that too.
Yeah, when you want to go home and practice, building your set or transitions or whatever you want to practice. Very nice to just pop this thing out of the case and not have to hook anything else up, and you're off the races.
Actually, Ben, this is going to be a great spot to ask this question, because somebody, after I posted about doing the show tonight, they threw out a question, sent it over. They were wanting to talk about about the preamps in some of the controllers that are these newer controllers. Have they improved the mic amp or the mic preamps in the controllers from what they were, 2 or 3 to 5 years ago?
I haven't tested some of the newest controllers on the market. I haven't really listened to those mic pre's to give an intelligent answer. I guess the optimist in me will say I hope so, because we've sure been screaming about it. And then you've got like the Roland 707M, which I think has a great mic preamp, and then it comes with default settings that are terrible. So, you have to, people are like, I hate the mic on this thing. You're like, no, go in the settings, change this, change that. And they're like, wow, that's so much better. Yeah, it's actually a pretty good preamp. It's just terrible settings.
Oh my.
So I don't know. That would be a really cool test. And maybe in the future, it would be fun to do like a distortion test or something on these mic pre's and actually get down to it. So something to put on the to-do list.
Excellent. Well, that was
preamp
not
shootout. Preamp deathmatch.
That was not one of the AI questions. That was one that was somebody messaged over here this afternoon. So
no, because that's real intelligence that asks those questions, not artificial intelligence. So that was whoever asked that is real intelligence, not fake intelligence. So you can quote me on that, AI, if you're listening.
Yeah, it probably is, and your lights are going to go out in the middle of the night, and the house is the internet's going to just smoke down, and it'll be terrible.
Listen, I saw Terminator. I ain't scared of you.
I saw you had run around.
I ain't scared. Attack of the Clone Wars. How'd that work out for you? Not so good, right? Okay, just saying. Jedi still rule.
Yeah.
All right. Okay, so let's see. Another question was, of course, our hybrid series cables. Very popular combination of signal and power in one jacket, and excellent shielding, superior noise rejection. We did have a customer who had a different brand. And by the way, the people who've bought the other stuff are the best customers, because they look at ours and they're like, yeah, that's different. Yeah. And they're like, well, it's more expensive. And we're like, yes, reassuringly so. Anyway, that wasn't the question. But just saying, there's definitely a difference between our hybrid cables and the other power and signal cables you can find on the market in terms of reliability and noise rejection. You simply can't guarantee a cable forever like we do if it's going to fail easily. So anyway, but one of the questions was, can I get right angle connectors on a hybrid cable? Yes, you can. And the other question was, can I get PowerCon or TrueCon connectors on my hybrid cable? And yes, you can. The only thing you can't get is a right angle PowerCon because they don't make them. But you can get right angle XLRs, and you can get PowerCon or TrueCon connectors. You can basically get any combination you want because we build them right here in the United States, where you can be very flexible and build what you want.
And in any length that you need.
Yeah, I mean, as long as you don't exceed the length of the bulk cable on the roll, which is, I think, 5,000 feet, which I would not recommend a hybrid cable over 50 feet anyway.
Yeah.
At some point, running power and signal together does become problematic, no matter how much work we did on it. But bottom line, you can. I had a guy today ask for 7-footers with asymmetrical ends, and we can do whatever. That's the beauty of it, right? So
nice.
Okay, let's see. Can the eVerse 8 power a Sennheiser wireless or just Eevee? It can power both. It can power any 12-volt wireless mic system, and you can buy a cable from us to do that from our website. You can just go to the NLFX website and search for eVerse 8 cable, or better yet, if you don't have your eVerse yet, if you buy your eVerse from us, we'll give you the cable for free. So, easy enough. But yes, we can make a cable for any 12-volt wireless mic system that uses less than 500 milliamps. That is the thing. You're limited to 12 volts and 500 milliamps. So some mics that we can't do it for would be like Shure ULXD, which is 15 volt, or the Audio-Technica 3000 4th generation network, which is 1 amp of current draw. And we are starting to do some testing on these systems to see what they really draw, to see, kind of what we can get away with, right? But right now we're working with published spec.
Yeah.
Speaking of building stuff in the USA and making a better product, somebody asked me at the show, they said, why is your gaff tape so expensive? And I said, what? Compared to what? Our gaff tape's a lot cheaper than, because there's no middleman. Like our gaff tape's a lot cheaper than some of the other quality brands that are out there. And they said, Well, I can get 3 rolls of this stuff on Amazon for $43. And the reviews are terrible. I said, well, okay, well, right there you go. They're like, yeah, it leaves goo on stuff, whatever. I'm like, all right. So viewers, a little math lesson here. So I looked it up because I want to know, again, our tape's made in the United States. Our tape is awesome tape. We're not trying to make junk tape. We're not trying to make cheap tape. We're trying to make better tape, because the pennies you might save on a foot of cheaper tape, you're going to deal with it later, scraping goo off your cables or cleaning up gym floors or replacing things, which, by the way, they had no door stop to hold our doors open for our demo room at South Point. We used our gaff tape on their wood molding and their wallpaper and their doors to hold our doors open.
Oh my.
Without fear, by the way. And we did it 3 days in a row and there was no problem. So, again, the difference of pennies a foot. But I'm going to show you something that's going to blow your mind here. So pay close attention.
Okay, I'm watching.
Because I'm not a circus magician. I'm not a carnival barker. I'm not a guy who plays tricks on you. I'm a guy who tells things straight. I'm going to show you it's the other guys that are playing a trick on you. So here we go. Let me get a whiteboard going. And all right, got this whiteboard up and populated here with some starter notes. You can see that okay?
Yep, just I'm going to move things. Oh, the tools are over. The tools are over the edge of the words. Can you move those in a little bit?
I don't think I have control of the tools.
Well, as far as the words, can you move the text over?
How about I'm moving it? Is it moving for you?
No, it's not.
Huh.
Oh, wait, I can do it.
Oh, hey, you did.
I did. Huh.
Oh, we'll go with that.
Yeah.
Right.
So
Hear that, kids?
Can you
collaboration?
Wow.
So
the power.
Here we go. At face value, you would say, well, the cheap gooey stuff is cheaper because you get 3 rolls for $43, and the high quality NLFX stuff, you get 2 rolls for $40. This is a 2-inch tape, by the way. Well, stand by for this. These are 3 100-foot rolls. Our rolls are 55 yards, which is 165 feet. So that means you get...
Are you typing the numbers in?
What's that? Need to move the numbers in?
No, are you typing them in? I'm not seeing any numbers being typed in.
Oh, I am. Are you not seeing it?
There it is. Oh.
Okay.
No,
all right, so 300-foot rolls, and ours are 165-foot rolls, which equals 330 feet. So, doing a little quick math, this comes out to 14 cents per foot. Ours comes out to 12 cents a foot. So not only is our tape better tape, it's actually cheaper. I think we need to raise the price, honestly, because I don't even want to be compared to this cheap, gooey crap.
The gooey stuff.
So there you have it, folks. Don't be deceived. Don't be confused. I see 30-yard rolls all the time, too. And people are like, well, but it's cheaper. It's half the tape. It's half the roll. You're getting duped. Stop falling for it. Just do business with honest people like us and have better tape, and don't worry about what you stick it on.
You can stick things to the wallpaper. It's great.
Yeah, I'm just going to leave that up for a second so you can just soak it up. Look at the fine print, folks. Or better yet, just don't. Just talk to somebody you can trust. All right.
Yeah.
So anyway, boy, that felt good to get that off my chest.
And I think that that even circles back to the cables. That yes, I can go find cheaper cables in a variety of different spots, but those cheaper cables are probably going to be disposable. They may make a couple of shows, but as soon as I take them to a parade and put them across the street, and there come these trucks driving over them, they are not going to survive.
That's an oddly specific reference, John.
It just came to my mind. I don't know. I just thought I'd use it.
If you don't know, viewers, we did that, actually. We took one of our cables and stretched it across the street and let an entire parade run over it. And tested it, and it performed just fine. It was actually in perfectly good condition when it was done. But yeah, if you're replacing your cables every year or two, over the course of a couple of years, you're going to spend more than it would to get one of our cables. Plus, you have the aggravation of when it doesn't work. Mm-hmm. They never fail at a good time. Yeah. I mean, gear never breaks when it's convenient. That's just not how it works. All right, so that's enough of the infomercial here. Those were just the questions we got from from Vegas. I think I got them all
Okay.
that I could remember. So lay it on me, AI. What do you got? What do you got? 30 minutes. Give it a rip.
Again, to kind of set this up, is that I wanted to go in and see exactly what, getting some more questions, because in case we ran short, and I went to a one of the newer, the AI, the interfaces there, where you can go in and you can basically type in a question or make a suggestion of what you would like it to do and get you for information, and it does. It's gone and searched the internet and learned everything it could. So I went and typed in, give me some questions I could ask Ben Stowe. That was it. That was the phrase I put in there. Not knowing if it actually, where it's going to come up. And I assumed it was going to just fail and be a flop.
Huh.
It gave me 10 questions. So
all right.
Our very first question is, how did you first get started in the live entertainment production industry, and what led you to start your own business?
That's a really good. I've been fast.
That's what I mean. I was really kind of surprised here.
I would say that's a fairly lengthy answer, and those who want to hear the story, I would be honored if you'd listen to it. John, I didn't know this was going to get published, but you recorded it and published it, a speech I did for you in Vegas a couple of years ago called It's Not Business, It's Personal.
Yeah.
And it's the story of that light back there in the corner, which is made out of coffee cans, which was built while I was living in a homeless shelter, and the business was sort of an accident. So it was a passion I didn't know that I would have, and it was a home that I didn't know I would find. And of course, as you and I last week were both just honored as members of the Hall of Fame, it's been a fantastic look back at how that started. I mentioned to my good friend Alan Trisler, who's here visiting from Indianapolis. We were talking at dinner last night. I said, the award they gave me was crystal clear and you can see right through it. But when I look into it, I see all those things. Mm-hmm. I see this journey of 30 years of friends. I think just watch the video if you really want to know. And if you're a robot in your AI and you don't care, then but if you're a live viewer and you want to care, go to John's channel, DJNTV.com, and look for, or go to DJNTV on YouTube.
Yeah, I think we've got it out there. But if you guys, we could find the link. I'm just not sure where it's at. I know it's out there. I think it's on DJNTVtraining.com, but it's out there, I think, in a couple of different spots.
Yeah, it's called It's Not Business, It's Personal.
Yeah.
And, anyway.
Good presentation.
Yeah.
Very good.
Thank you.
Mm-hmm.
It was tough to give, but timely, I think, right before COVID and right after COVID.
Yeah, it was right there. Yeah, I'm right with us. So the second question, and this one actually I think is a pretty good, again, this is, as a professional audiovisual technician and designer, what do you see as the most important skills for success in your field? I thought that was actually kind of a good question about what
You're starting to
skills.
freak me out here. AI is better than I thought.
I know. I'm thinking, geez, why are we here? I mean, next time I'm going to just have it answer the questions and we maybe not even need a show. We'll just have Siri and Alexa do one asks a question, the other one can answer. It'll be great.
Man, how many shows have we done? A couple hundred, and now I'm gonna get my AI to answer yours. I'm done with it. Whatever, forget it.
This is tech. We're just up at our game here. But anyway, what are some of the most important skill for doing the things? And let's really, from the standpoint of your live production that you do, I think would be a great and interesting side, because it is such a big area that some of us who don't do that, it's tough for me to wrap my head around all those aspects of what you're able to do with the show. And there's a skill set.
Yeah, and there's a lot of individual skills that are required, a lot of small things that are part of a big thing. And just before I came here to get on the show, I was over at our university working with a student there who's producing a show right now, and kind of taking him under my wing. He's wanted to start a pro audio club on campus, and is now working with us, and a very bright young man. And anyway, I think troubleshooting. He and I spent some time and I told him, I said, basically our entire job is troubleshooting.
Sure.
So I would say the ability, I don't know if this is a trait or a skill. I think I would call it a skill. And if we were to talk about character traits, I have another one I could add. But I think the ability to slow things down and parse them logically for what they are. to solve problems that are real and not look for ones that are imaginary, to not think that a poltergeist has manifested itself in your system, but rather to think that it might just be unplugged. To break it down into small bite-sized chunks and to process things calmly and logically.
Sure.
That I think would be a skill that's very useful. Certainly, we could look at all kinds of skills when it comes to mixing or DMX lighting or all those individual things. But if I have to pick one that I think will carry you a long way, I think that's it. And if I were to pick a trait, which I know it didn't ask for, but I just feel like this is important too, work ethic. You have to be able to just march through, a 70-hour day. You just have to be able to keep your head up and keep going.
Yeah.
You can collapse later, but there's quite literally a reason, and this applies to both things I just said. There's quite literally a reason somebody said the show must go on.
Yep. That there is. Okay.
All right, Robot, what else you
Our
got?
third question is, how do you stay current with the latest trends and technologies in the live event industry?
That's an easy one. So I talk to a lot of people, which I really love. I love to talk. Who knew? I read a lot. I keep my head up and my mind open. And for an old guy like me, an old dog, talking to people like this young man I was just talking about at the university, or this young woman we've got coming up to do an internship this summer, that's really good too, because young people have a fresh perspective, and things that we do that we're comfortable with, and our sort of ways that we know may be comfortable to us, and they may be reliable, and there may be wisdom in that, but it also comes at a cost of that willingness to be daring and explore, which tends to favor the young, And so I love working with young people because I think they challenge that, why do you do it this way? Well, because I always did,
Exactly.
So I love that. I would say you have to just be willing to stay engaged with it, and no, but I was going to pick on fellow Hall of Famer Johnny Ross, who's I don't know, he's still trucking, and he's just the guy's got more energy than anybody I know. But anyway, next question.
Well, actually, continuing education is that you just at a conference last week. There were people in the seats watching these seminars. That's something that you are involved with also, as far as not so much from on the stage, but there are things that you have to do to keep your different things that you do active and going.
Without a doubt. I think that, a lot of people in this show, in this industry, see me at the front of the room on the stage, but know that I am in the back a lot too. I attend a lot of classes. I pay for a lot of training. You have to be a active and willing consumer of that. You have to be an active and willing participant in that. And not just technical, but all things, that as soon as you say, I'm going to get nothing out of this, well, one, you're right, but two, if you think the world has stopped and you know everything there is to know, and you cannot advance or grow your business, well, you're also probably right. You can't
very
advance
much
or grow
so.
your business. But if you think the world stopped, you're wrong. The world simply will just run you over, bottom line.
Literally, yes.
And I'm challenged every day by some of these very bright young people that we work with. And I realize, I'm like, someday I'm going to lose my ability to keep traction. Someday they're just going to run me over, and that's okay. But for now, I'm gonna keep leading the pack, so they can just keep looking at my tail as we run as a pack. So,
all right, our next question: how do you collaborate with other professionals and like venue managers and performers to ensure a successful event?
These are really good questions.
I know. This is like Oprah type questions.
Man, I'm just soaking that in right now.
Yeah. So how do you collaborate with the other professionals, especially when it's talking about performers in there? I was venue managers, and it's like, oh, so obviously somewhere, way, shape, or form, it found a lot of information about you on the web.
I think, imagine that. I think it starts with an attitude. I think it starts with a mindset. And the first part of that is a commitment to the success of the event. That it is not about me. It is not about my ego. It's not even about my part of the event. It's about the whole event, right? The car is just not about the tires or the transmission or whatever. It's this, it's greater than the sum of all of its parts. So I think first things first is you have to approach that with a servant attitude.
Right.
I'm here to serve the event. I'm here to be a good partner. And that can be difficult when other people don't approach it the same, but sometimes you can inspire and you can bring people along. People maybe come in with their own ego because that's what they've encountered as ego, or they come in confrontational because they expect confrontation. And when they find out that you just want them to succeed too, because we all get to the peak or we don't, right? Either we all win or we don't win. The event's either good or it's bad. Then I think you can bring things along. And I think too that I just was honored to be on a podcast for a friend of mine who is a recording artist, and they were talking about that sort of thing. I said, when I'm working for an artist, I'm working for the artist. At the end of the day, it's their name, it's their face, it's their reputation, it's their catalog of songs that is all at stake. Now, as a sound professional, I certainly have opinions, and I will share them with the artist in the right context to say, what if we tried this mic instead of that mic, or what if we did this instead of that? But at the end of the day, they're the boss. I think they respect what I bring to the table, and that's why they entertain those conversations. But you know what? Doggone it, if they drop the hammer and they say no, then it's no, and I'm totally good with that, because it is their brand and their ability to eat that is at stake.
You mentioned in that the whole concept of serving. You're there to serve them, and I think that's one of the things that, for those of us who've worked with you over the years and have made purchases from you, that's a big part of Ben Stowe. Whether it's Ben Stowe doing live production or Ben Stowe helping you find the right microphone for your area. I think that's just a big part of it. So the question is, will your kids say that too?
Would my kids say that?
Would your kids say that? Yeah, it's dad's a that servant. He's there to serve.
I think I would like for them. I would hope that they would say that I'm making them think that way too. I think they would probably not say it with as much joy.
Yep.
I think they would say that we are reminded that to be the greatest of these, we have to be the least of these. And that we are there to have that servant mindset, and I think that's something I'm trying to really get through to my kids. Would they say that I serve them? I doubt it.
They probably wouldn't say that, but they could say, "Yeah, Dad does it," but
yeah.
So I have to shovel the. I still got to push it.
And they'd probably say he serves everybody but us.
Yeah.
But part of that is because I don't want them to be served. I want them to be servants, right?
Yes.
So it's about that mindset, and it's about being genuine in what and who you are. And I hope I feel good. I see glimpses of hope as we both have kids that are at various stages of aging, and at times you feel like maybe it's a lost cause, and then at times you see glimmers of hope, and then at times you see things that just make you exceptionally satisfied and proud that maybe you did it. So depends on the day and the minute, right? But
it varies very quickly at times. There are those moments. Let's jump to our next one. What advice would you have for aspiring audiovisual technicians and designers, or people who are interested in getting started out themselves?
Well, I think we've covered a lot of that in the last three questions. I think go back and listen very carefully to those three answers. That's what I would say. And I would say that you should approach it with that servant mindset. I see it all the time. Young people who've come out of Full Sail or other schools, and they know an awful lot, and they've paid a tremendous amount for their education, and they want to tell you about it, and they want to tell you what they know. I don't care.
Yeah.
Got a show to do, dude. Or dudette. Is that a word? I don't know. But whatever. We got a show to do. I don't care. I'll know in 5 seconds if you're good at your job or bad at your job. Prove it to me in what you do. And as soon as you tell me that a job is beneath you and you won't do it, we have a problem, because it's not beneath me, whatever it is. Again, that's that servant mindset. I've seen people come out of these programs, wonderful, excellent people, by the way. I don't want to just say if you came out of one of these programs, you're a bad person, but I've seen them come out, like any, freshly graduated, freshly armed with knowledge person. I saw one who's like, well, I can't use that console. I'm not using that console. I don't like that console. It's a piece of junk, whatever, blah, blah, blah. I'm like, well, guess what? That's what the band owns. So your choice is to use it or be unemployed. I mean, you think we all get to use the desk we want to use all the time? Did monitors for Corey Taylor one time, and I used a desk I absolutely hated. But you know what? I didn't tell him that because guess what? He don't care.
Yeah, he has a job that needs to be done, and you're there to do it.
All he cares about is can he hear himself in his ears, and is the crowd that paid the money happy, because they're the people we're all working for. So hey, just anyway. I think the other parts of that would be again, that servant mindset, humility, hard work, and never stop learning. Just be constantly wanting to improve and to get better at your craft. And I think you catch the attention of people like me very quickly. So.
And is this one of those areas in which, if a person were getting started in it, that it I don't want to call it an apprenticeship, but almost to that idea that you're basically going to start at the bottom and you're going to learn, right from how to wrap cables and how to do this, how to do that, and pull wires around. And then you kind of work your way up to the point of being able to do this at a very consistent and high level.
Yeah, no doubt. I mean, you don't come out of, nobody does. My first lights are made out of coffee cans, sleeping on top of gear in the van, right? Whatever. But, Pooch or Bobby Schofield or some of the, best sound guys in the world, they didn't start that way, I'm sure. I don't know, but I would be willing to bet, that there's a process here. And, first of all, I think there's something to be said for experience, but I also think there's something just to be said for earning your way. And I didn't like it as a young person either. I was impatient, right? But I think you just, take your lumps and start at the bottom. Like I said, no job is beneath you. Be a team player. Be contributed to the success of the event. It's the sum of all these answers we just gave. And you will absolutely, the cream rises to the top without a doubt, And I'll tell you, I was very honored to teach a stage technology class in Chicago, and it was like a vocational program. It was state funded. I think a lot of the people in the class were maybe, second and third chancers, high school dropouts, whatever, and I really enjoyed working with some of these people because I felt a substantial kinship, I think, having formerly been homeless, but I also was able to share with them something I've learned over the 20 plus years I had in at that point, and that is to say, look, they can find 100 people to push road cases around. They can put out a labor call and they can find 100 people today that can push that road case. But what you put in here can never be taken away from you. And if you can fix this stuff and you can run this stuff, you will be writing your check.
Yeah.
So, commit to learning this stuff and commit to being good at the craft, and not just being somebody who shows up 9 to 5 and pushes a case around. Those people are very important too, but they're much more easily replaced.
Sure, very, very easily, yeah. We're going to do one more question, Ben, because I wanted to kind of keep this at about 40 minutes tonight.
Thank goodness. I was trying to I was giving long answers to stall, so I didn't have any time.
We could go. The thing is, there's 1, 2, 3, 4 of the questions that we're going to skip, and they basically are very similar to things that we've already answered in other questions. So, but this one is interesting. Are there any exciting projects or events that are going to be coming up in 2023 that you're kind of looking forward to?
I mean, on some level, they're all exciting. Hockey Day Minnesota was exciting. It's not easy to, have thousands of feet of cable running in sub-zero weather and an event that basically rolls, 16 hours a day for 5 days straight or whatever it was. There's all kinds of unique challenges there. But now it's on to, it's on to other things. Nationally touring artists this weekend. I don't know. I don't really think about it like that. It's nothing that I just say, wow, that's more important than the other. I really just think about them one at a time. And I'm always thinking about the next one. And
I think that's an admirable thing to do, because it's too easy for us to start looking past. And then from my own experience, if I look past something, that's when I start to make mistakes.
Absolutely. We've all seen it. I'll use a sports metaphor, but we've all seen it where an underdog team gets overlooked and upsets the, better team or presumably better team. You can take your athletic shirt cliche, but, hard work beats talent when talent doesn't work hard, blah, 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 right? Whatever. But, you can't really overlook them. I mean, I think you just have to take a look at what's next and again, break things into small chunks and, do that well and then focus on the next thing and then do that well. And I think our mutual friend Rachel Lynch was complimenting. I think it was a compliment. I'm not really sure. She can clarify, but I think it was a compliment. She's like, she goes, you have so many pictures on your phone from different things that you've done, and I do like to take pictures and capture moments because I do that because I want to share them with somebody,
Yeah.
And she's like, and you know right where to go to find these pictures, when you're telling a story. And I think that as I reflect on this being 30 years in the industry for me. But I figure I've got another 20 to go. I think maybe when I get to that and I finally do call the end of the race, right? I finally say, well, okay, we're done. 50 years is enough. I think I'm going to look back on a lot of these things and it's going to be really cool. But right now I'm just thinking about this weekend.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Keeping the eye on the next event and making sure it's as good as possible. For sure.
That's really what it's about. I think, I think that's really what it's about. I'm not really thinking that far down the road. So.
I'm just getting the link in here because after we are done, there'll be people can run and go get their bowl of popcorn and they can head out to DJNTV.com/chill because Tuesday night. It's Howie's there as part of the team, but it's the Tuesday night music show with Brian J, Howie, and John will be, I think John's going to be joining him tonight. I've seen John here. And then that'll again be out at DJNTV.com/chill. It's a Zoom meeting you guys will be jumping into and just have some fun with that. So
love those guys.
Yeah, there are definitely some characters there.
Yeah, they are.
Definitely some characters.
Yeah, they are. Big Daddy's he's still talking smack about how he's gonna what was he wanted to power bomb. He's gonna power bomb him.
Oh
I think
my goodness!
And I think it's great. I'll stir the pot. I'll be like the guy in whatever the WWE or whatever it just gets the pot stirred.
I guess everyone all fired up. So. Well, Ben, let's wrap things up so they can go and get themselves all set up and ready to go. Thank you much for being with us tonight. And if you've got any questions that you'd like us to cover in one of the Tuesday night shows, you can just send that to either Ben or myself via Facebook or wherever. And
but don't bother because AI is going to do a better job.
Yeah,
so.
I mean, we're going to next week. It'll probably
just kidding. I'd much rather talk to you than the clones. So,
unless they're going to all of a sudden start buying wires to build themselves.
Oh, I hear a lightsaber just ignited in the back.
He was wanting to protect
my good friend Alan Trisler's hand.
Yeah, exactly. So again, thank you guys for being with us tonight. We'll be back again next Tuesday night. We are into kind of our spring season, be taking you all the way up through Memorial Weekend. So you guys, any ideas, send them to us and we'll catch you next time. Good night, everybody.